Ashford Penitentiary, a name whispered in fear, a place of dread. Towering walls of granite, cold and unforgiving, guarded its secrets. Years of neglect had taken their toll. Rust gnawed at the bars. Vines, like skeletal fingers, clawed at the crumbling facade. The wind howled through the broken windows, a mournful dirge. It carried the scent of decay, of time, of forgotten suffering. Within its walls, shadows moved, unseen, unheard. Ashford Penitentiary awaited its next victim. Detective Nathan Cole scoffed at ghost stories. He dealt in facts, in evidence. Yet, standing before Ashford, a shiver ran down his spine. His partner, young Officer Ben Davis, shifted nervously beside him. "Place gives me the creeps, Detective," Ben muttered. Cole grunted. "Just bricks and mortar, Ben." But his voice lacked conviction. He clutched the file folder tighter. Reports of strange noises, cold spots, and shadowy figures. Ridiculous. He'd get to the bottom of this. He pushed open the creaking gate, the rusted metal groaning in protest. The air inside was heavy, oppressive. The stench of mildew and decay filled his nostrils. Ashford was swallowing them whole. The silence inside Ashford was unnerving. It wasn't a peaceful quiet, but a heavy, expectant stillness. The air hung thick, filled with a palpable sense of dread. They stepped into the main cell block. Rows of cells, each one a cage of despair, stared back at them. Dust-covered bunks, rusted toilets, and peeling paint spoke of a time long past. "Hear that, Detective?" Ben whispered. Cole strained his ears. A faint scratching sound coming from the far end of the block. He drew his gun. "Let's go." His voice echoed in the silence. They walked towards the sound, their footsteps loud on the concrete floor. Every creak and groan of the old building sent shivers down their spines. The scratching came from Cell Block D, the most notorious section of Ashford. It was said to house the most violent criminals. Cole shone his flashlight through the bars of the last cell. A figure, tall, gaunt, its back to them. It scratched at the wall, a low, guttural moan escaping its lips. "Police! Turn around slowly!" Cole's voice echoed in the cell block. The figure froze. Then, slowly, it turned. Empty sockets stared back at them, the pale light reflecting off a skeletal face. A chill, colder than death, swept through the cell block. Ben gasped. Cole felt a knot of fear tighten in his stomach. This was wrong. This was impossible. The figure lunged, its skeletal hand reaching through the bars. Then, it vanished. The temperature returned to normal. The only sound was their ragged breathing. After the encounter in Cell Block D, doubt gnawed at Cole's resolve. He tried to rationalize it, to find a logical explanation. But the image of the skeletal figure, the bone-chilling cold, haunted him. They continued their investigation, each cell block more oppressive than the last. Whispers seemed to follow them, whispers they couldn't quite make out. Shadows flickered at the edge of their vision. "This place is messing with our heads, Detective," Ben said, his voice tight with fear. Cole wanted to disagree, but he couldn't. He felt it too. The prison, its walls steeped in suffering, was closing in on them. They weren't alone. He could feel it in his bones. Ashford was watching them, waiting. Deep within the bowels of the prison, they discovered the old warden's office. The air here was thick with dust and the stench of decay. The warden's desk lay in ruins, but a drawer had resisted the ravages of time. Inside, they found a leather-bound journal. The warden's journal. Its pages held tales of brutality, of madness, of things that went bump in the night. Tales dismissed as the ramblings of a broken man. One entry in particular caught Cole's eye. It spoke of an inmate, a serial killer nicknamed the Skinner, who had died within these very walls. His spirit, the warden wrote, still haunted Ashford. The scratching in cell block D, the skeletal figure. Could it be the Skinner? The thought sent a chill down Cole's spine. As they delved deeper into Ashford's history, the supernatural occurrences intensified. Cold spots followed them like icy shadows. Objects moved on their own. The whispers grew louder, more insistent. They spoke of pain, of anger, of revenge. One night, as a storm raged outside, they saw him again, the Skinner, standing at the end of a corridor, his skeletal frame barely visible in the flickering lights. He raised a hand, pointing a bony finger at Cole. Then, he was gone. Fear gnawed at Cole's sanity. He'd spent his life denying the supernatural, but Ashford left him no choice. This place was a vortex of darkness, and it was pulling them in. The next morning, Ben was gone. Vanished. His only trace, his dropped flashlight, lay on the cold concrete floor of the warden's office. Cole searched for him, his heart pounding in his chest. Fear had become his constant companion. The whispers were deafening now. They taunted him, mocked him, told him he was next. Cole ran through the corridors, his sanity unraveling with every step. He could feel Ashford's grip tightening around him. He stumbled into the main cell block, his eyes darting from shadow to shadow. And then he saw it. Scrawled on the wall in what looked like dried blood, a single word: mine. Cole turned to run, but it was too late. A cold hand clamped down on his shoulder. He screamed. Ashford Penitentiary stands to this day, a monument to suffering and despair. It is a place of whispers and shadows, where the line between reality and nightmare blurs. Some say Detective Cole's spirit now walks alongside the Skinner, forever trapped within Ashford's walls. The prison remains abandoned, a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk in forgotten corners. Locals speak of strange lights and sounds emanating from within its walls. Few dare to venture near, for Ashford's grip on sanity is as strong as ever. The story of Detective Cole stands as a chilling testament to the power of Ashford's haunting legacy. What truly transpired within the walls of Ashford Penitentiary? Was Detective Cole a victim of his own fear, driven to madness by the oppressive atmosphere? Or did he become another pawn in the sinister game played by the spirits that haunted Ashford? The answers, like the ghosts themselves, remain elusive, lost in the echoes of Ashford's dark history. One thing is certain: Ashford Penitentiary stands as a chilling reminder that some places are best left undisturbed, their secrets buried beneath layers of time and fear. The horrors of Ashford serve as a haunting reminder of the darkness that can fester in the shadows of our world, leaving us to grapple with the unsettling truth that some mysteries are better left unsolved.